Do you like to be a little lazy? Or maybe you want to call it using my resources wisely? Well, I sure do, and I have no problem admitting it, which is why I love hints. Howdy, I'm Devin Noel Lee, and this is Family History Fanatics in our series called Research Over My Shoulder. If you have missed any of the previous episodes, be sure to check the info cards, which will pop up during the video or in the description. We are trying to investigate two questions. Who are G. Winfield Underwood's parents, and can we clean up his tree along the way? In today's episode, we're going to look at the hints that FamilySearch found for us for G. Winfield Underwood. Now, FamilySearch likes to help you do your research, which I kind of like. They go after what we call low-hanging fruits. Chances are that the records that they serve up as hints are pretty accurate, maybe in the 90% accuracy, but you still need to review them. And how do you do that? Before we go to the hints, let's make sure that we know what we're looking for. We have the case of G. Winfield Underwood. He's married to Rhoda Kelly. He has a number of children, and we have some research questions. What does the G in G. Winfield stand for? Who are his parents? Does he have a second wife? And does he have another child named Bertie? Lots of questions. So if any of the hints answers those questions, we're good to go. Let's hop on over to FamilySearch. And the first hint we're going to see is a marriage source for G.W. Underwood and Rhoda Keeley. Keeley? It's supposed to be Kelly. Now, if you've watched a previous video, you know that in genealogy, spelling is fluid, especially on documents not written in the hand of your ancestor. So it's entirely possible that Keely is the same as Kelly. Someone just had a little trouble reading that last name. The next thing I notice is this marriage source says that Underwood and Kelly are getting married in Coke County. Now, we know that Winfield moved from Taylor, Kentucky to Grayson County, Texas. It pays to hop onto a map, and using a modern map over here at Google, we can see just where Coke County is and where Grayson County are in Texas. We see that they're about 46 miles apart. Now, here's the important thing. This particular map doesn't show you where the boundaries were, and where Winfield was living, it is entirely possible that it was easier to go over to Coke County to get married because the courthouse was closer to where he lived than the courthouse in Grayson County. And it's also possible that had easier laws to get married in Coke than it did in Grayson. But 46 miles is not that far away in order to get married, so we're going to go ahead and keep this clue. Now, those pieces of evidence tell me I should probably go ahead and examine this record in a little more detail. And often I find that if I hit the attach record to the tree button, then I come over to what we call the source linker page. And on this page, I can review the details that were pulled off of that source and compare it to the right side, which is what I have in my FamilySearch family tree right now. If you look at the top, occasionally you will have a link that says record, and if you click on it, you get that quick profile that we saw when we clicked the hint on the profile page. And occasionally you will also have the word image that is also clickable, and we can see the original source. But in this case, we have one of those extracted records that we talked about in a previous video, and so this is about all the information we're going to get. It is an index. Think of it like an index to a book. This is an index to the record, but not the original record. So we can go ahead and attach this as a source to the tree, but we want to keep looking for the original marriage record. Let's go and look at hint number 2. The second hint is another source dealing with Winfield and Rhoda's marriage. Hooray! Lots of sources about the same event. But this time, the details page has Rhoda's last name spelled more accurately. Now, when things are working correctly on FamilySearch, you will see View Image on the hint pop-out page on the person page. But sometimes it's not there, and I don't know why. So if you're watching this video in the future and you can't find the View Image, go ahead and click through the source linker and see if there's a clickable image link at the top of the page like there is on this one. Let's go back and look at hint number 3. Hint number 3 is once again a marriage record or marriage source. Darn, I needed other things, but it pays to evaluate these records to see if they are indeed about your ancestor. And we're going to talk about why there's so many about the same event in just a moment, so stay tuned. Now, when we click on this link and go to the source linker page and we click on the view image, we get an error. Oh, seriously, I'm trying to evaluate the record collection and I'm getting errors. Well, when errors happen on FamilySearch or in any site, you have a couple of choices. 1, refresh the page. Sometimes it's just a little hiccup in the internet service. 2, come back later. These are live sites and many of the engineers are working to make the site better all of the time. So sometimes you need to check back later. And number 3, occasionally there's an error message that says this collection can only be viewed when you're in a family history center or an affiliate library. So when you come across those, make yourself a to-do list item that says, check out this marriage record and be specific about the relationship. So when you go visit a family history center or an affiliate library, you know exactly what record you want to pull up and view in those locations. And a 4th tip that I know some of my FamilySearch fans will be kind of disappointed in. Sometimes just go over to another website. Find My Past, MyHeritage, or Ancestry.com. Sometimes they have the records that you want to see hiding out in their websites. So if you're in a rush or you're on the genealogy high, go ahead and check out those websites. After I began filming some of the information for this case study, I did option number 2, check back later. And sure enough, the FamilySearch engineers, they were working to solve a little problem, and all of a sudden I can see the original record for G. Winfield Underwood. Well, here it's G.W. Underwood marrying Rhoda Kelly. And I was so hoping there'd be some extra information here on the record to help me about parents or maybe the witnesses or just something to give me an extra clue to solve my questions, and it didn't. But was it time wasted trying to track down that original record when the information is the same that's in an index? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Now I know for certain there's no additional records on that marriage record, but what if there was and we didn't go to that original record? So always try to get to the original record, even if it doesn't add any more value to you. You still see the license, the original license, and the certificate from when your ancestors were born, married, died, or whatever. Now, we don't have time to go into why multiple records for the same event show up on FamilySearch. We will make another video for that for the Family History Fanatics channel, and when it goes live, we'll make sure we put it in the description. So ultimately, we were able to take one to-do list item off the record collections that we were looking for. We were able to find the original marriage record, even though we had that IGI source from a previous video, which is why I should tell you, go ahead and make sure you look at all the research over my shoulder videos to follow along in the process. But we found that marriage record, but we still have more records to go. You never know what hints are going to come up on FamilySearch or Ancestry or any site for that matter. So it pays to go through the hints, but once you've exhausted the hints, you have to dig deeper. And that will be the topic of the next video. Finally, connect with us on Twitter and Facebook. Twitter at FH Fanatics or Facebook Family History Fanatics.